Alrighty, this is a long form video on the chapter 1 of James because I've gone through 1 through 3 in short form videos, so I thought make a series on YouTube here where I go through all the chapters. So we're gonna do that here. So let's just start with chapter 1, verse 1. James, a bondservant of Christ, of God, and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Let the lowly brother glory in his exaltation, but the rich in his humiliation. Because as a flower of the field, he will pass away. For no sooner has the sun risen with a burning heat than it withers the grass, its flowers fall, and its beautiful appearance perishes. So the rich man also will fade away in his pursuits. Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life which the Lord has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then, when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow of turning. Of his own will he brought us forth by the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of his creation, or creatures. I can't read. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore lay aside all filthiness and overflow of wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your souls. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man observing his natural face in the mirror. For he observes himself, goes away, and immediately forgets what kind of man he was. But he who looks into the perfect law of liberty and continues in it, and it is not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this one will be blessed in what he does. If anyone among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this one's religion is useless. Pure and undefiled religion before God the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their trouble, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. It took me 4 minutes to do that. Wow, that's kind of sad, but let's get to it. This is supposed to be the first chapter of James, so let's just break it down. We'll go verse 2 through 7 is talking. It's first, like the first little bit, when my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. So it tells you you're going to fall into trials. You're going to fall into temptation and stuff like that. But it says, knowing that the testing of your faith. So it's going to be tested. Your faith is going to get tested. And it produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So it's telling you that the patience, it says, let the patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Lacking nothing means you have everything that you need. Yeah. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach. So it tells you that God gives to all without reproach. And so what is reproach? The reproach is, I'm pretty sure, in this world, a second thought. So read it that way. Without a second thought, he gives to all liberally and without a second thought. That's awesome. Okay? And it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith with no doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. So it's telling you this. It's basically describing what a person who doubts is. That's what that is right there. So let's continue on in 9. It talks about the perspective of the rich and the poor, and it talks about how the rich, or how the poor will glory in his exaltation, and the rich in his humiliation, because as a flower of a field he will pass away. And it's literally says its flowers fall and its beautiful appearance perishes. And then it says, so the rich man also will fade away in his pursuits of, I'm just guessing here, money and all that. But then verse 12 through, 18 is talking about loving God in your trials, in your temptations, in your tribulations, and all that. So that's what that's talking about. As if you guys were listening when I read it, that's what it was talking about. Because it also tells us God cannot tempt anyone, nor is God tempted by evil. So that's pretty cool. And it also says that every gift is from God, or every good gift and every perfect gift is from God. That's exactly what it says. And comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow of turning. So that's all that. And you guys can tell I don't really have many thoughts for this, because in my case this is very self-explanatory. And so the next one, 19 through 20, is the qualities needed in trials. So it says, so then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. And that's just 19, so slow to wrath. So slow to anger is what it's saying. And so, and then verse 20, for the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. And 21 through 27 talks about being doers of the word and not just, or doers of the word and not just hearers of the word. So if you hear this word, and as like the different soils, I can't remember where that is in the Bible, but it's in there. And it says, be doers of the perfect law of liberty, that's there. And I don't really have much else for this, so I will see you guys in the next episode. I will see you guys in the next one. This is the whole thing. So next video that is going to be James chapter 2. So, yeah. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, y'all.